I still remember my first week in Australia. Very homesick, a lot of cultural shock. And I was in a place called St. Benedict's, Narrabundah, Canberra. So I went for my first time to Mass. I sat somewhere away from everyone. It's a very strange feeling when you are in a new country. You don't know anyone. Now I'm sitting by myself. And I still remember when I finished Mass, Ellen Brennan, an English woman, she came up to me. "Oh, are you the new guy in the seminary?" I said, "Yeah." "You must be feeling very isolated and lonely." I said, "Yeah." Then she started to talk to me as if I was a friend or someone. But I was so happy. Then she said, "Why don't you come to my house for dinner?" Yes. First week, nailed it. She cooked me this very plain food, boiled drumstick and broccoli. I still remember it. And she saw me struggling to eat it. Then she took the plate away. And then she gave me ice cream, which was fine. Then the next day, there was a whole bag of Indian food at the seminary dropped for me with a note just for Bonnie, because there are other hungry seminarians. I still remember the name of Ellen. I went for her funeral because I read that in the paper while I was in Melbourne. I took the plane and went for it. I will never forget Ellen's name, Ellen's face, the memories of that first time I sat with her. It's still with me. I can never forget, because without any affective factors involved, without any emotive factors involved, this is my son, my cousin came to Australia to study, nothing. I was totally a stranger, a total stranger. And to me, without any demand from me or without any sort of prompting from me, she crossed over. She crossed over to me and asked me and invited me, made me feel I am welcome. And in the words of Thomas Aquinas, I would say that is love. To will, to choose, and to will the good of the other. And how much memory, in the language of one of my favorite clinical psychologists, Jordan Peterson, how much love memory she must have exercised. What is love memory? A map of love that we carry in our memories of love. That we have been loved, we have been experienced God's immense love or people's immense love in our hearts, in our minds, and that memory, we use it like the muscle memory. We use love memories and we act accordingly. And this English woman, she must have felt, as soon as she saw me, she must have tapped into her own memories of coming first time to Australia, getting settled in Australia. And maybe something of that memory, when she tapped into, became so alive in her, she reached out for my good. It is becoming so hard to love. And in my opinion, it is because of the moral ecology we live around with. It is a difficult word, but let me explain that. Every generation has a moral ecology. Moral ecology is a system of belief and behavior we build up in order to respond to the crisis of that generation. So moral ecology, a system of belief, behavior we somehow come up with in order to respond to a particular challenge that generation poses. So when I grew up, my mom and dad, they had this moral ecology. If I can put that in one phrase, I would say the moral ecology is, we are all in this together. My dad worked, he was the only one working. Mom had a lot of dreams and desires, but mom didn't want to spend money because she and dad are one team. We are all in this together. Growing up, I wanted to go to an expensive school. I wanted to buy expensive things. I wanted to do things that my friends could afford to do things, but I did not do because I want to support mom who is supporting dad. We are all in this together. And that was the moral ecology of that particular generation. And now we live in a particular moral ecology. And it is also built upon a response to our crisis, because people are so fed up with, we are all in this together. I want to do my own thing. Why would I listen to my parents? Why would I listen to the church? I want to do my own thing. So in that particular time when people are feeling so oppressed by, we are all in this together, there is a new moral ecology, and that is, I am free to do whatever I want. It's my life. I can do whatever I want. I can achieve whatever I want. I am on my own. My God lives within me. My authenticity comes from within me. My autonomy is that I am accountable to myself. But there is a tension in that moral ecology. I choose, I do things according to my own needs. I cannot fathom the pain the family of Lily James, who was killed in Sydney recently. And the guy took his own life. Every week, one person is killed in intimate partner violence in Australia. One person in a week is killed in Australia because of intimate partner violence. Apparently, the perpetrator of Lily James is from a very privileged family. Maybe the moral ecology of our young generation is the opposite of love. I am free to be myself. I can do whatever I want to do. I can achieve, I can become whatever, anything I want to be. And in that particular moral ecology, how can I say loving is choosing the good of the other? Actively choosing the good of the other. Jesus is very cleverly putting it to the Jews and the people of Israel. He's putting two commandments from two different places. We always read, love God and love your neighbor as yourself, but they are given in a two different contexts. One is in Deuteronomy, in Exodus, the other one is in Leviticus. You know, people are so obsessed with loving God and doing all the rituals, wearing the right sacramental vestments and coming and doing all the rituals. And when they go out, they're unable to love. So what Jesus is doing, put them together. Loving God, loving neighbor is exactly the same thing. I am choosing the good of the other. I am choosing the good of the other because I see God in them. It is a very, very difficult fact, and I find it very difficult to love. Especially when I am in strife with someone. I can see good families, good friends, good people. They are very good in praying and doing scriptures and studying, but when it comes to love, their faith does not challenge them enough that they will choose the good of the other. Maybe we need a new moral ecology, and I think it is happening with the tension between left and right conservatives and progressive. I hope and pray something new will come out of this tension where we are all in this together. I am free to be myself. We need a new moral ecology where we still understand individual freedom. At the same, we still understand collective responsibility to say beyond factions of religion and color, caste and ethnicity, we still able to say, I choose the good of the Palestinians because they are my brothers and sisters. I choose the good of the Israelites because they are my brothers and sisters. I am not buying into partisan politics because the commandment God gives me goes beyond any ethnicity or politics or any religion. The love invitation is to actively choose the good of the other. And let us create memories of love. Finally, my brother who lives abroad, he has a habit. He gets his son to transfer money to his in-laws. He gets his kids to pay the money to the church. He gets his kids to do the charity or donations that he has to make. And one day I asked him why. And he said to me, Bonnie, they have to do it. They have to see it. He takes them every year back home and take them to places, even to funerals. And I said, why would you take your child to a funeral? And he said to me, they should know the pain, they should know the struggle, so they can tap into their memory and say, life is difficult. I have to get stronger. We have to create memories of love, sharing and giving, so that our younger generation will always know how to tap into their memories of love and to choose the will of the good of the other. Amen.